Today, we're going to talk about the lymphatic system and why this is so important to get your health in order. And I'll share with you a little personal story. Like years ago, when I really started to learn about health and vitality, my sister was diagnosed with Hodgkin's disease, which is a form of cancer, which comes from cancer of the lymph nodes. Most of your lymph nodes are under the armpits, in the necks, and in the groin area. And this is kind of your waste removal system. So you have what's called a lymphatic system. Now, the lymphatic system, just so you know, is 3.5 times the size of your blood system. So most of us have had a blood test. And, I started to learn about this when my sister got sick and, before she went through 4 years of chemotherapy and radiation, but we didn't know how to optimize the lymphatic system at that time. So it was very unfortunate. But what we can say here is that this, in my opinion, is actually more important than the blood system. Okay, 3.5 times greater than the blood system. You want to make notes of this blood system. So we've all had blood tests, right? Everyone's had blood tests. But have you had a lymphatic test? Now, the interesting thing is, so the lymphatic system clears away all the goop out of our systems, all the metabolic waste. So your cells, okay, here's your cell. It's got your little mitochondria in here. And when you burn carbs or fats, or even if you convert proteins, which is an inefficient way of burning fuel, but, whoops, that's a terrible P. When you burn those things or utilize, there's a certain amount of metabolic waste, okay? This waste is carried away by your lymphatic system, okay? Now, here's the thing. This is what makes it different from the blood system, and why on the third part of the awesome system, we talked about that 7 system, you look at the earlier lessons, we talk about exercise. When I talk about exercise, the real big benefit of exercise is moving the lymphatic fluid, because the blood system, we all know, has a heart. Your heart pumps blood in to the body, pumps it through the body, brings oxygen to the cells, and removes carbon dioxide out of the system. That's what the blood system does. That takes some nutrients and stuff. But the lymphatic system takes away all the waste product out of your body, and it's a lot larger than the blood system. And this is really, really important, because now, today's sedentary lifestyles, what's happened is, number one, we have less mitochondria. In other words, than our predecessors. We have less of these guys because it's the old thing, move it or lose it. If you move a lot and you exercise a lot, you increase the amount of mitochondria. If you sit at a desk and you have a sedentary lifestyle, you get less of these. So what happens is your body is less efficient at burning carbs, fats, and proteins. It's often why a lot of people crave sugary things or things that convert very quickly into glucose, so that our cell can utilize that, because we don't have a very efficient system. The problem is, every time, the further you go away from natural foods, the more chemicalized or the more processed it becomes, the dirtier the fuel. So it's like a cheap grade of gas. So now you have more waste products. And what this does, if you're not moving, this clogs up the lymphatic system. So what happens is you start to get inflammation. A lot of people will start to feel pain in either their hips, or they get lumps under the body here and there, or in their neck. I remember in my sister's case, she was first diagnosed because she got a lump in her neck, because literally the lymph node was inflamed. So people go, well, what are my options here? Well, there is some people, you can go out there and you can go to what's called a lymphatic drainage specialist. And this is a type of, it's a type of treatment which a body worker will actually work in pushing the lymph through your body. There's also another thing which I recommend, which I think, walking. So if you go back to our lessons on breathing, when we did that one with the 10, 10, 10, where you're walking, inhaling for 10, holding for 10, and then exhaling while you're walking, during that process, what happens is that creates pressure inside the system that pushes the lymphatic system. So It looks on the surface as a very simple exercise, but it's actually a very sophisticated system for flushing waste out of the body. And when you do that, you have more energy, more vitality inside the system. But the simplest, fastest, easiest way to improve this whole situation is through using a mini trampoline. So if you go back to some of our earlier exercises, some of the earlier lessons, you're going to see that I was jumping on a little mini trampoline. And of course, the best guy that I think in the market is a guy by the name of David Hall. You can check out his stuff on our site. Okay, so David made perhaps the best mini trampoline on the market. There's Dr. Stephen West is another great advocate, and also Al Carter. These are some of the legends, if you will, of the industry who talk about the lymphatic system and how to move this drainage system. Because think about this. If your body has created a system to remove waste that's 3.5 times the volume of your blood, what does that tell you? It means that getting the waste out of the system seems to be a lot more important than getting food in. So going back to the principles of the awesome system that we talk about, those 7 pillars, air, water, and exercise, those 3 are so critical to this process, because by deep breathing, you expand the oxygen inside the body and you remove more carbon dioxide. With water, we're able to flush it. So if you're that chronically dehydrated person, you've got a problem because you're building up waste inside the body that's sitting around. Imagine not cleaning your house for like years, what would happen, or not taking out the trash for years. Or imagine if you're driving a car and you put like bananas in the tailpipe. Is that car going to run? Of course not. It's not going to run. It can run on a variety of different fuels. You could follow and be okay on a variety of different diets. But if you don't get this lymphatic system figured out, boy, you're in trouble. So going back here, the simplest, fastest, easiest way is to use a mini trampoline. And you can go to our site and check out which ones I like to use. What's great about it, it's simple, it's fast. About 10 minutes of just bouncing like this. Just a little bounce like this on the rebounder. It's great. It doesn't cause any damage to the joints. It also pumps your cells. And over time, if you go for this and you really amplify your lymphatic system, like jump on the mini trampoline all the time, what happens is that you start increasing what's called mitochondrial density in all of the cells in your body, not just your muscle cells. So now you've got more of these mitochondria. You become much more efficient at burning fuel. You become much more efficient at removing waste from flushing lymphatic system. Your cells contract on every single bounce without the impact of being on the floor. So, whether you're, 2 or 92, you can use this type of technology. And the best part is it's so portable and easy to use. I love my mini trampoline. I jump on it all the time, and it's just such a great way to flush the system. And if you go to our, 15-minute-a-day routine, then we're going to show you exactly what you can do to start your day every day in the comfort of your own home and do the whole program, the whole biological optimization program, including jumping on the mini trampoline. And you're going to love this. You're going to feel great. And it's going to make a huge difference in your life. So that's a little lesson today on the lymphatic system, why it's so important, and why it's going to lead you to another level of healing, health, and high performance. So stay tuned, and we'll see you at the next lesson. I hope you're learning a lot. We're having a lot of fun, and I'm really glad that you're on this program with us. But just stay with it, because you're getting this into that level of unconscious competence. And by integrating this and reviewing this information, you are going to have that next level of health and vitality that you deserve. So we'll see you on the next lesson.